at 5:30, and if you will, bow with me with our word of prayer before we start. Dear Lord, thank you for giving us another beautiful day, Lord, and thank you for giving us a day that you never promised us. Lord, thank you for the people in this room and what they mean to this community. Thank you for these people as we will serve on this board. Lead us out each meeting, and hopefully the decisions we make will glorify your name. Now forgive us for many ways we failed you, and lead us out each day to be your will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right. First of all, we're going to start off by reading a proclamation to our tennis team who's won state championship. It seems about every year. I don't know, but it's been a bunch. So I'm just going to read this. If y'all, it's a tennis team, but the ones that's here would stand up. The proclamation reads, whereas New Albany High School has long been a proud tradition of producing winning tennis teams, and the New Albany Bulldogs tennis team has completed a successful season, emerging as the state champions in 4A for the 14th time in 20 years. And Coach Susie Bowman has led New Albany High School team to their 8th title in her 9 years. Whereas all the coaches and players on the tennis team are to be commended for their hard work and dedication, with particular recognition and commendation to the following players for the individual titles and accomplishments. Heidi Clayton, 4A singles state champion. Hunter Henson and Gregory Nelson is 4A boys doubles state champion. Natalie Creekmore and Will Boynton, 4A mixed doubles state champion. Brandon Bowman, 4A single state finalist. Sarah Robbins and Grace C. Masons are 4A girls double finalists. The 2023 North Mississippi All-Stars, Natalie Creekmore and Will Boynton. And the 2023 4A All-State team was Braden Bowman, Hunter Henson, Gregory Nelson, Will Boynton, Natalie Creekmore, Sarah Robbins, Gracie Mason, and Heidi Clayton. The full roster is Natalie Creekmore, Gracie Mason, Sarah Robbins, Heidi Clayton, Corey Clayton, Eva Aldridge, Lily Stout, Juliana Scott, Juliana Langley, Miracle Hurd, who I may murder this one, Natalie Peach, hey. Okay. Will Boynton, Braden Bowman, Gregory Nelson, Hunter Henson, Carter Ladner, Matthew Dewart, Braden Langley, Matt Blackburn, Sam Derrick, Jacob Chris, Reed Taylor, Ben Torado, is that right? Mason Tate, William Chosich, Joseph Smithy, Shanna Pond Weaver, that's right. Brandon Garrett, Sam Sherman, Kid Bennett, and Charlie McBrown. It is therefore proclaimed by the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of New Albany, Mississippi, that the city with great pride recognizes and honors the New Albany Bulldogs Class 4A State Championship team, and with all its coaches and members, congratulate them for their hard work and accomplishments. So proclaimed on this 6th day of June 2023 under the seal of the City of New Albany. Congratulations. All right.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all so used to win. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah. Now we're going to the girls' golf team. Coach Shane Sanderson. They won 17-0 this season. They won 5 invitational tournaments, along with a Class 2A state championship. Adeline Bailey was their overall medalist, and Lucy King and Adeline Bailey was MAC Class 2 All-State. And we congratulate the tennis team, and we're going to also proclaim on today, June 6th, 2023 under Silver New Albany, we're going to proclaim this Albany High School Girls Golf Day too. Thank y'all, Sharon. Congratulations. That's a big accomplishment.
Thank you, Your Honor. And we appreciate the board and everything. And one of the things that's so special about the tennis team is where we get to play. I mean, those all have a lot to do with that. Our beautiful facility. Everybody loves to come and play at New Albany. Courts are about to be resurfaced, and we're going to have our grand opening in July after they're resurfaced. So we'll have y'all join us for that.
Good. Well, thank y'all. Y'all have to stay around.
Thank you guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, if y'all help us with our greens.
Well, we don't have that authority, so appreciate it. See you. Okay, we got a public hearing. Eric, where you at? See out front?
He's down there.
All right, we're gonna go down to Departmental Business, and Chief Robinson needs to go, so he can go first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. All I have in mind is we have a position for a new hire. I'll be presenting Greg Mason to the board for hire. He is part-time certified. He's born and raised in Temple County. However, he's lived the majority of his life in Blue Mountain. He's married. He's about 25 years old. He's got 3 children. He's worked with us part-time now for about 3 months. He's worked well. Prior to that, he worked at Blue Springs. He's worked well in both those places. And I'd like to present the board for a permanent position if you're not the police department.
All right, got a motion from Kevin Down, a second by Drew. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank y'all, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
With the board of commission, I'll be excused.
You can be excused.
Try to come or catch balls
You
here.
need to do that, love. Okay, Mr. Maddox, we're gonna let you go next.
Thank you. They grouped a couple lines together, but I go. This would be more brief. See that entertaining part, Mayor.
Yeah.
So item 1 and 2, those are both pay requests. Item 1 is to Atwell Engineering for design services on our electric communication system. This was $2,281.62. And other pay request is to TESTCO for products we received during the month for our automated metering project. That's about $7,283.66. I'd like to have permission to pay those 2 invoices.
A motion by Will, second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Items 3 and 4 go together as well. These are components for our communication system. Item 3 are for the huts for the internet substations. These are 4 shelters we plan to purchase. We bid both of these items. It was about a month ago where they came in really high, almost $1.3 million for the 2 items combined. So we went back and worked on the specs and rebid, and much more pleased with the numbers we're coming back with today. So for the communication system huts, we'd like to award bid to Cell Site Solutions in the amount of $368,000. Item 4 is for the power supplies that go inside the huts. That's to CMA Telecom Services in the amount of $147,907.44. I'd like to have permission to award those 2 bids.
All right, what's the will of the board? Got a motion by Kevin Dale, second by Drew. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Items 5 and 6 both relate to MDOT jobs that's getting ready to start on Highway 15 and getting ready to widen the stretch from Union County up into Temple County. The first part we're involved with is about 2 miles from Cotton Plant North. We've got to move our electric lines. MDOT will be reimbursing us for the engineering work as well as the construction on it. Item 5 is to allow us to advertise for the materials that we need to accommodate the widening. And item 6 is to advertise for a construction company to actually do the work for us. So I'd like to have authority to advertise both of those items.
All right, we got a motion by Keith. Do I have a second? Second, Carter. Yes, sir. Any further discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
We'll skip item 7 for the minute, Mayor. Item 8 is to buy a mini excavator for the gas department. The one we have is, it's getting some age on it. It's been problematic. We've had some issues with it as of late. We did quote 2 similar excavators. The low bid was to Thompson Cat, and for a Cat excavator amount of $63,700. We also got a bid from Weight Equipment for a John Deere, equivalent type excavator. That was for $74,895. We recommend purchasing the low bid from Thompson Cat at $63,700.
So, got a motion by Will, have a second. Second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, item 9, when the pandemic hit, we were, it was hard to get water meters, and we were in the middle of trying to determine which way we were going to go with our automated metering project. It was looking like we were going to go with the census system, and we were able to get some census water meters, so we made a purchase on those. Yeah, this is probably back in 2021. Since then, we changed directions, and we're not, we use Neptune meters. So we have 24 1-inch census meters and 52 3/4 inch for these census water meters that we're not going to be able to use. We like to advertise those on rural water and try to get our money back on them. Yes, we need to compare those circuits.
Okay. We've got a motion by Kevin Dale, have a second. Second by Parks. Declare surplus. Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Back on item 7, that was one that Will asked us to put on that. We talked about it last week. Will's daughter had a ball game. She's not able to be here with Gene to help with this. There's a plan to redo the city county parking lot off of
Library parking.
Yeah, the library parking lot. We want to get approval to advertise for bids. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think the plans are quite ready, not the final plans, but they quite go ahead and get approval to advertise. But I think the money's in 2050. Do you have anything?
Yeah, Sam's there, right? Money's there.
That's correct. Yeah.
Would you ask about I have hearing aids?
She ain't got her phone, right?
For the library parking lot to advertise for the construction project for the library parking lot.
Advertise for bids.
Yes, it's money.
They're asking who that was supposed to money.
Yeah, the money's there.
The money's there.
So that's 50% ours, right?
Huh?
50% the county's.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
They've approved it too.
Okay. Well, there's no set. The plan is not complete.
This close.
What's close is just really striping and
I think the conceptual plan, I don't know if all the specs, I said the plan, I think they kind of have shown all the plans. He's probably got to develop all the detailed specs for the plan that y'all saw.
All right, what's the will of the board? Motion by Drew, second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, good. Eric, are you want to go now? You've been printing.
Oh, you can go on with firefighter, and I just did all mine.
Well, let me go. Community development first. You got anything?
no, I think you go for us.
Okay. He was in the same way. Park and Rec, in case you get anything.
I don't have anything, Mayor. Splash pad's doing good, and the patrons thank the mayor and the board for that.
Good. We had a couple of negative comments, but we'll look over that.
All the little kids love us.
Yeah,
That's what's important.
That's
right.
Fire department.
I didn't have anything, but since I sent that out, we had a couple things come up. We were in a meeting in Natchez, and a lot of legislation was talked about, and especially since Representative Crickmore's here, I wanted everybody to know that Sam supports us in this city, and he has helped us a lot with our legislation, and there's a lot of good things going on, and we appreciate you. We've had a couple of pretty severe fires. One of them was over the weekend where a child was injured with some smoke inhalation. She got out of the hospital Sunday. Had it not been for the family pet, though, we probably could have been looking at some fire fatalities this week. So thank goodness, the dog woke them up. But like I said, she's out of the hospital, and then the guys are just now finishing up a house fire on Hobson over here. They got it stopped and everything, and they're cleaning up. But Mark Sides got elected to the Northeast portion of the state for the Fire Chiefs Association, and that says a lot for you as a board and also the mayor that the city supports us to do that. It helps us also lead in legislation, and with support like this, we're getting a lot of good things done. We all appreciate it. And statewide, they appreciate it too. You guys, the effort you do up here too, they know us. So we appreciate it.
Mark, thought you got a text from some of the residents in that area. They would thank y'all for what you did.
All right. Street Department, Johnny, you got anything? Okay. Mr. Russell, we're gonna let you go next.
Hello, my name is Elijah Russell, and I live at 602 Baker Street. I'm here over the safety of my community. Where I live at, I see some of the most grotesque things of people flying up and down my hill. And this is all day, every day. And it is a scary thing to see how this is going along with children trying to go across the street and cars flying up and down the street. I talked to some of the people in my community about it, and they have been complaining about it. And so this is why I brought the petition. I have it with me. I didn't know how to do all of this thing. I wish I would have known how to have done it correctly. But we really need to get this. It has to be safe there. I don't want to hold everyone's time up here, and I hope you remember this part. There was a situation where if anytime you come down my street, you'll see me sitting on the corner of my porch, and you'll more than likely see me in my wheelchair. And it was one day that I was sitting there, and a gentleman was coming up my hill, and he was turning to go down the hill. And while he was doing that, I heard a motorcycle. Forgive me for this, but it was doing that, coming up the hill, and I see this, and all of a sudden the guy jumps off of a motorcycle, and this thing is flipping in the air, and it landed right next to me on my porch, and there was no way for me to get up and run from this. He landed right behind the motorcycle. And this is not made up. This goes on all the time. One of the things that has come to my attention is that in the morning time when the children are on their way to school, anyone coming up the hill, they're constantly like this, covering their eyes because of where the sun is at in the morning. But then by the time the school gets out, the ones that are coming down the hill, especially on the school buses, they are the same way, like this, because the sun is on the other end of the street. And it makes it so bad over there. People won't slow down. There's people that walk over there. There's people, I seen a child fall off a bike, and I wish the gentleman right here, I have the video of it. I can show it to us later or what have you. But the other day when the fire department was there, I was watching them just to make the point of how dangerous this street is. And where they were parked at, a gentleman was coming up the hill, and while he was walking to the fire truck, another car run up right behind him. And it stopped right there and let the man go across the street. By the time he got in the fire truck to pull off, another truck come. While the truck was pulling out, this guy tried to go around the truck, and he almost hit the fire truck. There needs to be some speed bumps over there to stop this going 60 miles an hour all day, every day. It is a scary thing for me to sit outside all the time and I see it. I even see the police officers, even though they may be doing whatever job it is. And I'm not calling anyone out, but I've seen this before, of how people are constantly zooming up and down that street. This needs to actually stop. What everyone has asked me to do was to bring up the situation as to where to put those things. One would be a great place just before my house for anyone coming down the hill.
Where do you live?
I live on Baker Street.
What's the house?
602.
Corner of Baker.
Okay, Baker and Mark. And another one would be a great place where Mr. Bradley's place is at, because the cars that I was over there earlier today, and I seen a bunch of cars at that stop sign zooming past that thing. No one stopped. No one was stopping right there. And it made me wonder, if they don't stop right there, by the time they come up my hill, how fast are they going? This is why I'm asking to put some speed bumps there to stop these people from putting everyone in danger. It is a difficult situation, and something needs to be done to stop this stuff.
Did you say you had a petition?
Yes, sir.
But before you move back to New Albany, to where you stand at now, we had put the police department over us. And we have a problem with the speed of, like you saying we had, and the police department was giving folks tickets over there. So the same people that you were talking about and said that they want this speed bump stuff, is the same one that were crying about the police tickets.
Okay, I understand that part, but I'm looking out for them. If they would slow down and wouldn't be speeding through there, they wouldn't have to worry about tickets. I didn't know if I'd done that right, but I had the people for everyone signing that thing, and I didn't know what all I had to put on there to bring it here. There's even a couple of names on the back.
I tell you what we need is their address on there.
Okay.
If you'll get that on there and just bring it back and give it to one of the girls.
Okay.
We'll look into it.
All right. I'll do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
How you with the chief? We'll look at it. We'll look at it.
I'm kind of like I could.
You're gonna get with the police chief, and they'll look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we do need an address beside those names.
Okay. Well, can I show it to you real quick?
Sure.
And if you'll call up here and tell me you got it ready, I'll come get it or whatever.
Okay. And one last thing. I know this is not going to change anyone's mind here, but this was scary for me to come up here today, being in this thing, and it is a scary thing for me. Like I said, I've seen several people almost get hit by cars and things like that. I'd rather look out for the community and keep people safe over there instead of seeing that zooming up and down the street like they do. And I'm just asking for that.
Yeah.
This type of thing should have been here. And please don't take this wrong. Looking at it as New Albany, that's great, but it feels like old Albany. This stuff should have been done a long time ago. I'm not pointing anybody out. I'm just saying that this, as long as that street has been like that, this could have.
What's the speed limit on Baker Street? 25 miles per hour?
I have not seen anything like that. Only one.
Yeah, that's what it says. If not otherwise posted, 25 on every street. I don't know if it's posted over there.
Only one that I see is this one that's right across the street from you that speaks about slow children.
Yeah.
If there's other ones, I rarely can get out, so I don't know all of them.
But I mean, just on Baker.
You know what thing about pushing them in the spot where you live at down there. And they jump that hill, Kevin, there. They don't read signs nowhere. And if they jump that hill speed, they get that speed limit, it's gonna settle right in his house.
And this goes on. This is a warning if you put it before. This is a warning. And it happens more than just in the daytime. This happens at nighttime too. You know, it's just it is really scary. I didn't mean to hold everyone up.
No, that's fine. We're gonna be here.
You realize what the speed bump do all night? Somewhere run over?
Well, honestly, for anyone who is not in agreement with those, let them keep speeding. You know what will end up happening? You're going to help make that the mechanic rich, because you're going to keep tearing your car up by jumping those things.
But you know what you're going to be doing in 6 months, don't you? You know what you're going to be doing in 6 months?
As far as?
You can right back down here and ask us to move.
To remove it? You know, I came down here several years ago. I'm the one that came down here about my grandmother riding down that street and flipped her car. I'm the one that came here to ask for something to be put there to stop people from zooming past that road. And the mirrors were put right there. There was a mirrors put on the right now is a stoplight right there. I'm the one that came there to ask that, because that street is truly, truly, truly dangerous. So if I have to come back, I'll see you guys again. I will come back. I will continue to do this here for the safety of my community.
Appreciate you. All right, so thank you. Thank you, Sarge. You want to say?
Yeah, every speed bump that we put in, a fire truck will have to come to a complete stop if we're going to an emergency call. I mean, a complete stop. We have to stop completely. And so if we've got 3 trucks coming to a call, that's 3 trucks that are stopped before, you have to ease over it. If you don't, we'll tear the entire thing up. So that's why we really frown on speed bumps, because it tears our stuff up and also delays us.
But we can definitely look at ways to slow it down.
There's one in 3-1 up. What we're looking at is right off coming out Church Street right there.
3-way stop.
Coming out church and coming up the hill. Because it'll stop the traffic at that church anyway, doesn't walk in there.
Well, we'll have to put the police over there.
I stopped it.
Bring them on.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Russell.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Be careful.
Okay,
I can wait.
Eric, are you ready?
Yeah, yes. You won't get the public hearing out of the way.
Yeah.
You got a 202 star on the smell of smoke.
Hey, Chase, will you go down there and if he has to open the door, get inside and get out? Okay, we'll go back to the public hearings. Rezone 1120 Willow Lane from SN8 to SN5. We need to do these individually.
I think
the same people are asking for the
all but the last one is a different number.
Okay.
If the board wants to make a motion to approve them all,
okay. All right, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First 5. That's the same owners. What do y'all? Anybody here the owners? Okay. So he wants to rezone 1120 Willow Lane from SN8 to SN5. 202 Thomas Circle, it's the same. 204 Thomas Circle to rezone it. And that means 8,000 to 5,000 areas, square feet. And I said 204 Thomas Circle, 205 Thomas Circle, SN8 to SN5, and 207 Thomas Circle from SN8 to SN5.
Are these the ones that?
Where?
Got it. We're taking the trailer. Oh, deal with it.
Okay, what's the will of the board on those 5? I think it'd be a big improvement, to be honest with you.
Take the trailer out and build a duplex instead.
All right, motion by Drew to have a second. Second by Kevin Dale. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Now rezone 203 Thomas Circle. Anybody here for that one? Same. 203 Thomas Circle, same designation, SN8 to SN5. Motion by. You make a motion, Carter.
I will.
Oh, I saw a hand go up. I didn't know. Motion by Drew.
Yeah.
That was second.
I'll second.
All right. Let's get you involved. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all. I'm scared to come here too.
All right, let's go to your area.
All right, I emailed the monthly report. The zoning meeting, we had a request from Randy Parks at 1206 West Bankhead for a variance and the siding requirement was approved. The second one was from Anchor Land Investment to rezone 200 Butorin Way from SN8 to IL. It was approved. And the third one was a request from Glenfield Storage, 1106 Western Tate Drive, for a siding, for a variance in the siding and parking lot requirements was approved.
Good.
Next thing, I'd like to set a public hearing for the July 5th meeting to rezone the 200 Butorin Way from SN8 to IL.
All right, what's the will of the board on the public hearing? Motion by Kevin Dale, second by Williams. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right.
On the code enforcement side, I need to set a public hearing for the July 5th meeting to condemn 403 Adams Street.
All right, motion by Parks, do I have a second? Second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I put on here about a crosswalk on North Railroad. I put in the email. You know, we got this new restaurant coming in, and we got Joel over here doing his restaurants and stuff. And we're going to have a lot more traffic in our back parking lot trying to get across right here. So I would like to see us put a crosswalk on the parking lot.
Right across here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I need a motion in a second, do that. Second, motion by Parks, second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir. All right, nothing on the updated agenda, consent agenda, unless y'all have any corrections on that. We'll move on to action agenda. Which one is that?
He said you would.
Okay. All right, let's go to the action agenda. Anybody got anything on stone filter? Abbey manufacturing lease agreement. Get that. All right. What does this mean, Reagan? Ordinance amended chapter 7, buildings and building regulations.
That's yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what it is just in our ordinance that talks about the contractors being licensed. The state law changed on the plumbers and electricians, and we had to update that to where the plumbers and electricians had to be state licensed to be able to get licensed with the city. Also, on the bond requirements, I added that if they fail to complete the job, that would actually be a violation of our ordinance, because the bond companies say that you have to prove there's some code deficiencies, and sometimes there's not. They just didn't finish the job. So they suggested we change and add fails to complete the job, and that would cover the bonds.
So that one just needs to be introduced by someone in writing. No vote necessary today. You can't vote for 15 days. Somebody needs to offer it.
All right. All right. We'll go in there and use it.
Vote on it next month.
Yeah, we'll vote next month. Thank you. All right, next month, the board meeting falls on the 4th of July. So we need to, I guess, the next night, no?
Well, the statute says it's the next night. I don't know why we need an ordinance, but it maybe someone contracted to do it.
I don't know.
Resolution, but
I just moved it.
I mean, the state statute.
Yeah, let's do a motion a second. I don't.
No harm. No harm in those.
Yeah, no. All in favor? If not, you can show up on Tuesday night. Yeah, have your own order.
Drop for the light.
Item E is affordable insurance. We didn't have anybody that could meet or beat their insurance rate, so we need a motion to go with them again this year. We got actually about a 10% reduction. I got a motion by Kevin Dale, have a second. Second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, what about Abby? Is all of it next month or just that one? Okay, approval application for Atwell taxes from
Albany Homestead in Albany already. If you want to do those together, Albany Homestead in Albany are already.
Okay, Abbey Homestead and Albany Industries. We need approval for application for Atwell taxes. Motion by Key, second by Drew. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, the next one, Reagan. The same way we should read.
I haven't heard from the tax officer that was ready.
You don't want to do it,
There's, I want to make sure chances is spent before we do it.
Okay. All right, let's get that one. All right. The next one is executive session. Consider executive session for personnel reasons. That motion, Kevin Dale, second by Will. Do y'all have anything for y'all?
No, they was.
Just wait to talk to Eric when we're done.
You can talk to him, take him with you.
That's all right.
Thank y'all.